You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Well, here we are back again, and of course, now it is indeed a privilege and a pleasure to have my good friend, my personal good friend, Raanan Penn. Good day to you, Raanan. Are you there?
Yes. How are you doing now?
Yeah, very well. And how are you doing? You sound very upbeat and excited. Are things healthy within the Israeli rugby setup?
Yes, things are doing quite well. Had some good results lately.
Yeah.
And some nice projects ahead.
Oh,
so
that's
basically,
good. Yeah. So we just got a little bit of a thing here which Sean will read, and then we'll get your response to that.
Okay. Hi, Raanan. Nice to speak to you again. We just want to impress the listeners with what you and the guys have achieved over these last 12 months. Over the last 12 months, the Israel national team has moved up world rankings by over 10 places. We've had our program now for 1 year and 2 weeks. Israel was 72, now they're 61 in the world, and that rating was before the last two games that they won, one at home and one away, against bigger teams and bigger unions. Anyway, together with this, also the year before, they also jumped many places. That makes Israel one of the highest jumping rugby nations in the rugby standings in the whole world. I've just got to say congratulations. You guys are really doing something correct. You're doing something right. And we hope this is just the beginning of a whole lot of good things and national pride. I think if the average Israeli had to understand this, they'd really, really be very proud and very supportful. What have you changed over the last 18 months that Israel rugby wasn't doing before?
Not too much. I think we have a good generation of players, and we added a bit of structure to the setup, and we more or less doubled the working load of the national team players, with more work, more practice, more physical testing, more professional type of work. And that's more or less it. Yeah. And kept it stable. We've been same coach, same assistant coach Jeremy Schauder, same manager with Julian Shapiro, same physiotherapist with Ali Tamo, and me as the head coach. Same staff for the last 3 years, and most of the squad has been more or less growing up together. And in the last 2 years, we've started getting good results.
Now, you mentioned, which is very, very important, is structure. And this is in fact, one of the most important things. And it's always falls on the shoulders of the head coach, unfortunately, besides the structure, is to ensure that once you have this in place, that it remains. And I think that even, although you did mention it, even you don't realize, and I as a newcomer to Israel rugby, I've only been at it for 4 years. You've been at it for a lot more, and I've had experience in rugby all over the world. I don't think even you realize the difference, because you live with it on a day-to-day basis. But that very word structure you've managed to bring it in, to implement it, and to hold it. And this bodes very well for the future, because it's with this structure, within that structure, if we can maintain our discipline, and it seems that our latest results and move up the table have done so, there's a very good future for Israeli rugby. And I must just say that, and whether you like to admit it or not, you've done that. I've watched it sort of almost like from an outsider, and the structure hasn't been, and it hasn't been easy, and it hasn't been quick, but it's effective. And I think now we've got to the point where we say everything is in place, and I'm happy with that. But now the big question is, what next? Because we cannot allow Israeli rugby, especially with this momentum that we've got, to stagnate. So what is next? What is next? We'll discuss your other projects in a minute. But for the national side, looking at getting up there into playoffs for the World Cup or whatever, what is next for Israeli rugby?
So we still have the 2 games in the spring to qualify for the next pool in the European system.
All right.
We would probably need to win against Denmark at home to finish the group first and go up. Basically, the plan for the next 5-6 months is will focus on physical aspects, a lot of fitness work, which goes together with a project that we have with the Olympic Committee, the Israeli Olympic Committee, with sevens rugby.
Oh.
We have a pool of players for the national sevens rugby team, which are, as I said, in a project with the Olympic Committee. We have a technical advisor from England, who is an ex-sevens and 15s national team player for England, Peter Richards.
Oh, yes.
And so we have already a group that's going to work the whole year on in a professional atmosphere, and then we're going to add the 15 players into that structure in some way.
Oh, that is very, very encouraging indeed. I must say that is a project, because that is definitely a move in the right direction. Because, as you say, you have this group of elite players who will probably take Israel to the next step. Okay, the next notch, the next level, whatever you want to call it. And as you say, if you introduce them into the system, because I think that the basis of this, and my spies tell me this, I send them to the games to watch, that this Israeli team can go very far, a lot further than they have gone. And if you watched some of the World Cup, I hope you watched some of it. Teams like Namibia and so on. Namibia, all right, most of their players play in the South African leagues and the English leagues and so on, but they're a put-together side, but yet they didn't disgrace themselves. Okay, they were the worst side on show, but if you think that was the best 20 sides in the world, they did very well indeed. And there comes the word that you used, professionalism. Okay, dedicated to the team, dedicated to the side, dedicated to rugby. And I think that given the setup that you have for Israeli rugby, if you can convince these guys, and it'll be your job as the coach, that they can in fact be in the top in the world, I think that we can, because I definitely think that Israeli rugby can get to the stage, maybe not the next World Cup 2015 in England, but the one thereafter, where we're involved in some way in the playoffs. And I think that we can become the sensation of world rugby, given if we can carry on exponentially like we have done. I think that we can become the sensation of world rugby.
Raanan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Most of your team now, do they come from your academies? From your youth programs, most of your senior team?
Well, if the question is if most of the players grew up in the Israeli rugby structure, then yes.
I see, okay.
Most of them came through the junior clubs and from the under-18 national team.
I see. Okay, now you said if you can beat, I think it was Denmark at home, you're going to go up. What league are you in now? What European league? How does it work?
So the European structure is divided into small groups. There's 8 groups. We are on the 5th one.
I see. So if you go up, you'll be then in the fourth group.
Exactly.
I see. And is that automatic, or will you have to play playoffs with the guys who coming down from the fourth group?
So the first team that finishes first in a group goes up automatic.
Yes.
And then the second one will play the fourth in the group above in a playoff game.
I see.
So there's two teams that possibly can make it, but we're aiming for one.
I see. And two more quick questions. What is the weight of your pack? Average.
It varies in the games, but the pack in the last game was something like 780.
I see.
No, a bit more. 800.
I see. So that's quite a heavy pack. In the World Cup, most packs were from 850 up to about 950. So you're not light. You're not a light bunch of guys. You're serious. You big, strong players.
Tight 5 is quite big. I think the loose 4s are a bit smaller than the World Cup squads.
I see.
Yeah, I must say, yeah, that size doesn't really matter, because some of the best players in the world are not that big, and I think like the flanks, for example, or the loose forwards, including the eighth man, if they run a tight line throughout the entire game and make themselves useful at every, and you have a classic in the flanks, a fetcher and a carrier, and they're both committed to their jobs, and you have an eighth man who is good on attack, but his main job is defense. I think that and the loose forwards that you have at the moment, although they might be a little bit small in size, given the right coaching as you give them, and the right sort of guidance, you can make the loose forwards, for example, a potent attacking force. So I don't think size really matters in this particular case. The guys, because rugby's played with the heart.
Yeah, and they're actually probably our biggest strength is our loose forwards combination.
Correct, and the people who've watched the game told me this, and that they play a very good game. And if they were to just tighten their running lines just by a fraction, that would make them even more potent. So I think that you've coached these guys very well indeed, and they are a potent force. And your tight 5 are not that shabby either. They're pretty useful, and experience and training. By this time next year, they'll be just as good as anybody in the world.
Okay, Raanan, you said that you have other projects now. What are your other projects? What's the next step? How are you going to bring more guys into the sport? So
the biggest project is the sevens rugby.
Yes.
Sevens rugby is our biggest project currently, with a long-term goal of reaching the 2016 Olympics. And it is by far the most. It's the biggest project we've ever had, financially and in long-term goals. Very nice, interesting project. We've just started with a new development plan and a new development personnel that just came into the union and started working this month. Specializing and focusing on youth, on the youth structure, under 18, under 16s, and under 14s. That's a nice small project that we've started. We've just finished a course with 33 new rugby sevens coaches. Finished a course in August. End of August, and that's a very exciting new start for us with a good group of young, capable, and certified by the IRB coaches. And of course, we have lots more of other plans, but so far these are the main areas.
Well, I must say that I think strategically and efficiently, it's a beautiful strategy you've got for the next few years. It sounds very sound and strong, and that amount of coaches to be passed around the country, I think it's only going to draw people in.
Absolutely, and the youngsters, when you have one of your under 14s or under 16s become a national player, then you know that what you're doing is right. Then the whole of Israel rugby has arrived, it's just so encouraging. It really is, and I don't think that, and you personally, I'm sure won't, but we must not let the momentum dip at any stage, in season, off season. These people must be brought in and kept in, and very, very important for Israeli rugby to move ahead like this. And I must admit that I'm very encouraged indeed. And I said that I hope that in my lifetime that we'd see Israel at least playing in the playoffs for the World Cup, and I don't think that's an impossibility. The only thing that might hold us back a little bit is our own minds. But if we free our minds and understand just how good we are, and because we don't have to apologize to anybody. Israel rugby doesn't have to apologize for their existence. They're as good as anybody else. They deserve their place. You've worked hard. You've earned it. So now it's just a matter of taking that extra step and going out and grabbing it. And I'm sure that you and the boys will do exactly that.
I hope so.
Yeah, Raanan, how does it work with Olympics? Is it also leagues? I mean, now are you in an international sevens league?
Yeah, so they are in the sevens. We play in the European structure.
Yes.
There are 3 divisions. We are in the second division.
Mm-hmm.
We finished last year 6th, which means we're 18 in Europe, in the European ranking.
Yes.
Which is pretty good. That's including the Six Nations teams and some world-class teams, Portugal and Spain, Romania, Russia.
Yes,
some good teams in that structure.
Yes. And Georgia, I'm sure Georgia are very good.
Georgia. Lately they've been focusing more on 15s, but yes, some very good teams. Portugal are actually the European Championships. They've beaten England.
Wow!
Okay. And we focus on that structure. We play again in a couple of European Championship tournaments in spring, June, with a target of reaching the first division, which will be huge. Because that's going to be playing England and Scotland and France and Italy and some good, very good teams. Right. So that's the target for this year. It's a high target, but we believe it's achievable.
Gee, that's unbelievable. Now, what do you have to achieve in order to get into the Olympics for sevens?
Well, the exact route is not published yet, because we'll only discuss it after the 2012 Olympics.
I see.
But it's probable that it will be through the European Championships, through that system that I've just talked about.
Right.
And that's basically the plan, is to enter within the next couple of years, enter the top division of Europe and stabilize there towards 2015, where we can launch an attack on the top 2, 3, 4 spots there, which will lead to the Olympics. And again, very, very high targets, but it's a nice dream. We believe it's possible.
You aim high. Don't ever believe that you don't belong in any league. I can assure you. And with sevens especially, because there isn't that so dependent on the set pieces. You've got defense, ball retention, and fitness. And if you've got those 3 right, and any intelligent side can beat any other side, anybody, whether it's England, South Africa, Fiji, whatever the case is. Sevens is an intelligent game played by very, very fit men. And as I say, you say it's a very high aim. So what? Let's aim higher, because first we aim to get into the competition, and then we aim to beat it. We aim to win it, irrespective of what it takes, because Israel will play 15s and 7. Israel will play winning rugby, that's for sure.
Well done. Thank you very much, Raanan. We've got to get back to some news. I know people are waiting to hear about cricket as well.
Thank you very much.
So,
do you play cricket, Raanan?
I used to play a bit with my father.
No, you must, because I'm trying to keep this interview going, but switching to cricket. So, but we'll let you off for now. We're going to speak soon. And
thank you very much.
Again, the offer goes that if you need anything from me personally, or Sean, or the radio station, it's only a phone call away. Really and sincerely, it's only a phone call away. Because if there's anything we can do to promote Israel rugby, we'll do it, no matter what it takes. And
excellent. So we'll be in touch.
Absolutely, yes. and really, the work that you're doing means so much to a lot of people. So keep it up. I know it's not easy, and it's easy for me to say, go Raanan, go do these things, and you have to go and do them. But you've taken the position, and you've owned it, and you've made it your own. So I would just like to personally thank you, and I'm sure Sean as well, and all the rugby followers. And there are lots who make contact with me almost on a daily basis, looking for information and results and forthcoming things and so on. And everybody's as excited as I am. So you're doing a great job, Raanan. And we're going to just ask more of you and more of you and more of you. But that's easy for me to say. But that's unfortunately your lot in life. So contact us at any time, and we'll speak very soon. Thank you very much indeed for coming on, and may all things go well.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much.